Hello everyone. Welcome to one another session. Today in this session we'll learn about first part of explanation of lesson number 4 Flamingo, the Rat Trap by Selma Lagerlof. About the author, Selma Lagerlof, who had a lifespan from 1858 to 1940, was a Swedish writer whose works had been published in several languages, and a universal theme, a permanent theme runs through almost all her works, and that's a belief that the essential goodness in a human being can be awakened through understanding and love. Introduction to the story. When we talk about the setting of the story, it's amidst the mines of Sweden that's rich in iron ore, which figures large in the history and legends of Sweden, this particular country. And as far as narration is concerned, the story is told somewhat in the manner of a fairy tale. The theme or the message that has been conveyed through this story is that the emotions of love and acceptance can reform others, can reform evil-minded persons, or can reform thieves and other people who are indulged in socially unacceptable activities. So, before we get started with the story, let's remember the theme that the essential goodness of human beings can be awakened with love, sympathy, and understanding and compassionate behavior. Similarly, a sub theme runs parallel with this theme, and that's that human beings should have a strong resistance against temptations that lead them to sufferings. And one another message or fact of life that we learn through this story, that loneliness is intolerable, and human beings, being social animal, cannot tolerate loneliness in their life, and they always just long for someone to give them company. So the story is about a rat trap seller, and this man who is old and disillusioned, and because of poverty and because of the indifferent attitude that he receives from other people of the world, and he sells rat traps, and he suffers from poverty. He has no family. He just wanders from one place to another place in search of a job, in search of a buyer for his rat traps, and in search of shelter. So, once upon a time, there was a man who went around selling small rat traps of wire, made of wire. He made them. How did he make these rat traps? He just made them himself without any assistance at odd moments, or at unusual times, in unusual times when he had leisure. So how did he make them? He would make those rat traps with the material he would beg from the stores, or that he would somehow steal or beg from the big farms. So in spite of all this hard work, the condition of the man was extremely pathetic. He was extremely poverty stricken, but even so, the business was not especially profitable to him. So he had to resort to or depend upon both begging and pity, or trivial or small kind of thievery or stealing. Why? To keep his body and soul together, or to survive. To keep body and soul together means it's kind of idiom that means to live, to survive. So even so, in spite of all this, this fact that he worked so hard, his clothes were in rags, or he almost wore torn clothes. His cheeks were sunken as his poverty, due to his poverty, he was malnourished and ill-fed. His cheeks were just deep inverted cheeks, and hunger, naturally hunger was visible in his eyes. Hunger shone through his eyes. So we can imagine that he led a very sad and monotonous life. No one can imagine how sad and monotonous life can appear to such a vagabond. So he had no excitement for his life. He had developed a kind of pessimistic attitude towards the world, the people of the world, and towards life. So here, the author just defines him as a vagabond or a tramp because he wanders just from one place to another place to sell his rat traps in search of sell buyers and in search of shelter as well. So he plods or just trudges or just walks heavily across the road, lost in his own thought, left to his own meditations. Then what happened when one day when he was just having his usual routine, he was just plodding the tracks, and one day this man had fallen into a line of thought. A line of thought here refers to a special thought, a particular thought came in his mind. And what was that? And that thought really seemed to him very much interesting and entertaining. What was that thought? So, how did it happen? He had naturally been thinking of his rat traps when one day he was thinking about his rat traps, how to sell them, how to get buyers for his rat traps. So, all of a sudden, an idea came in his mind, and what was that? That the whole world about him, around him, is nothing. The whole world with its land and seas and its cities and villages and everything that are available on the surface of the earth or on the surface of this globe or world, according to him, or according to his philosophical thought, he just thought that the whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. So further, he thought that it had, and this world always existed only to set baits, or baits are kind of food, piece of food in the form of piece of meat or bread, generally kept inside the rat trap to attract the rat. And as soon as the rat gets tempted towards these baits or a bait, he gets inside the rat trap and gets caught and then suffers. So similarly, according to his thought, the world is full of such baits, and when human beings do not make proper choices and do not make a right decision, they may suffer just like a rat inside the rat trap. So in this way, he thought the whole world is just like a big rat trap. And according to him, this big rat trap or world rat trap offers several things in the form of several tempting things in the form of riches or wealth and joys, happiness, shelter and food and heat and clothing and so on, exactly in the same manner as the rat trap offers cheese and pork. And as soon as anyone let himself be tempted, allows himself to get tempted by these baits, to touch the bait and to experience the bait, the door of this rat trap or world trap gets closed behind him, and then everything comes to an end, or then the suffering starts. So, why did he have this thought, such kind of thought for the world? Because the world is a poor man. Moreover, he is a thief, although he indulges in petty thievery, but still he is a thief. So, socially, he is not at all accepted by the people. So, the world had, of course, never been very kind to him. So, it gave him unwanted, unusual joy to think ill of it in this way. So, we see that he had developed a kind of pessimistic view or thought about the people of the world, especially those people who had never been kind to him, and most of the people were never kind to him. And this particular thought that the whole world is a big rat trap and the people are just circling around the baits of the world, this thought became his favorite, the most loved pastime or hobby. Whenever there would not be any other thought, this would be the only thought present in his mind. So this would be the favorite thought of him during many dreary or unexciting ploddings, or the trudging or the tiresome journeys that he would have. So he would like to think of people he knew who had let themselves be caught in the dangerous snare or trap of the world, and he would be also happy to think of those other people who are still not trapped but still circling around the bait, and very soon they can get caught. So this we in few paragraphs we learn about this philosophical thought of this man. One dark evening, as he was trudging or plodding along the road, he caught sight of a little grey cottage by the roadside, and when he knocked on the door to ask shelter for the night. So at this point we also learn that almost by every evening he would have to search for a place where he could spend the night. So he found a grey or dull colored cottage by the roadside, and when he knocked on the door to take permission whether he could take shelter for the night, and then how, let's see what was his what kind of response did he receive. Nor was he refused. Generally he just gets refused by the people. No one would like to allow him inside his or her, or no one will like to allow him to give shelter to him. So instead of the sour faces which ordinarily met him, the owner of this cottage, who was an old man and who was also alone without any wife or child, and on the other hand, just contrary to his general experience, this old man was happy to get someone to talk to in his loneliness. So here we see that how the fact of life, that loneliness is unbearable, and people always just crave for someone to talk to them and someone to spend time with them. So immediately, so this old man warmly welcomes him, and moreover he was hospitable too. Immediately the old man, not only he allowed him to spend his night there, immediately the old man put the porridge and edible pot on the fire and gave him supper, or provided him the main meal or the dinner. And then he carved off or took a piece out of a large piece, such a big slice, from his tobacco roll, and that it was enough both for the stranger's pipe and his own smoking pipe. Finally, he got out an old pack of cards and played Jollis with his guest until bedtime. So, Jollis is a kind of a game played with playing cards. So we just observe that the old man was very kind-hearted. He was compassionate enough. Maybe there was a selfish motive that he was lonely and he wished to have some company. Okay, so later on we'll find out that was he really a compassionate person, true from his heart. So the old man was just as generous with his confidences as with his porridge and tobacco. Later on, we see that this old man, or the host of this house, was not only generous with in sharing porridge and tobacco. Moreover, he shared some of his private secrets, confidences, secrets. What was that? The guest was informed by the old man at once that in his days of prosperity, when the old man had his prosperous days, his host or the old man had been a crofter or a farmer at Ramsjo work, and a worker at Ramsjo Ironworks, and had worked on the land. And he had a farm too, or on a rented land he worked. Now that he was no longer able to do, as he is old now and he is not able to do the day labor, it was what was the source of his income. This was also informed by the old man to the peddler or the rat trap seller, that it was his cow now which supported him. And he admits that yes, that bossy word is used to term bossy means cow, and was extraordinary. What can we refer that the bossy or the cow was extraordinary means it was a healthy cow that gave or produced a good quantity of milk. So She could give milk for the creamery or the place where cream and cheese, such products are produced, and he would go every day to the creamery with the milk. And he informs further that last month he had received all of 30 Swedish currency in payment. So he also informs the peddler about the total money he had. The stranger, who is the stranger here? The peddler or the rat trap seller. The stranger must have seemed incredulous. It was all very much unbelievable for the stranger, because the old man got up and not only he informed that he is at present, not only did he inform with a lot of pride that he owned a sum of 30 kroners, he just went to the window, took down a leather pouch which hung on a nail in the very window frame, and picked out 3 wrinkled 10 kroner notes or bills. These he had just showed in front of his eyes as if it was a kind of bait being shown to the peddler or the stranger or the rat trap seller. And now we see that a bait was present in front of the rat trap seller. Now we'll find out whether he had enough strength to resist this temptation. So these he just held the 3 kroners or 3 bills of 10 kroner in front of the eyes of the peddler, and nodding knowingly, and then that, see, I am not a poor man, I own 30 kroners. And then immediately he stuffed or thrusted the money back into the pouch and kept back at its original place. Let's see what happened next. The next day, both men got up in good season or early morning. Early morning, the season remains good. And the crofter was in a hurry to milk his cow, and the other man, means the peddler, probably thought he should not stay in bed, and as it was not a good etiquette for the guest, so he just woke up, and when the head of the house had already gotten up, the guest should not sleep. They left the cottage at the same time. Together they left, and the crofter locked the door and put the key in his pocket. The man went on to his road. The man with his rat trap said goodbye and thanked the old man for his hospitality, and thereupon each went his own way. But half an hour later, the rat trap peddler stood again before the door. He did not try to get in. However, he did not try to break in. And what did he do then? He just only went up to the windows. He just broke a pane. A pane refers to a single piece of glass of window or door. So he just broke a pane. He just thrusted his hand inside through the broken part of the window and got hold of that particular pouch with the 30 kroner. And then he took out the money and he just pushed back just stuffed the money into his own pocket. And then he hung the leather pouch very carefully back in its place and went away. So what do we observe? That the peddler or the rat trap seller could not resist the temptation. He was enticed by the 30 kroners. Further, as he walked along with the money in his pocket, he felt quite pleased. Initially, he was very happy for his smartness, that how stupid the old man was and how smart he himself was. He realized, of course, that at first, but he became quite careful that at first he should not dare to continue on the public highway, as there could be chances of being caught, but must turn off the road, change the road, and he should take another road into the woods or the small forest. Let's see what happened next. So finally, he just took a road that took him into the woods. So during the first hours, this caused him no difficulty. We should remember what happens after the rat gets trapped inside the rat trap. The rat starts suffering. So here, let's see. how does the suffering start? During the first hours, this caused him no difficulty, but later in the day, he experienced that the woods into which he entered became worse. The situation became worse because it was a big and confusing forest which he had entered into, and he tried to be sure, although he tried to keep himself focused to walk in a definite direction, but later on he realized that the paths of the forest were very much confusing. They were just twisting back and forth, so in a strange manner he was trying to move ahead, but the paths were just swirling and twisting back and forth, so he would stand again at the starting point. So the suffering starts. He walked and walked without coming to an end of the wood, and finally he realized. The realization occurs now that he had only been walking around in the same part of the forest for a long time. And then, all at once, he recollects his same philosophical thought about the world as a big rat trap. And he realizes that it was now his turn. His turn had come, and he was himself responsible for this situation, this miserable situation he had because he had allowed him to be fooled by a bait, which bait? The 30 kroners, and had been caught. So now the whole world, with its trunks and branches, its thickets or bushes and fallen logs, seems to him like a prison closed in upon him, like an impenetrable or impassable prison from which he could never escape. The story will be continued. Before we come to the end, let's look at the glossary section. You need to study all these vocabulary words. Thank you so much.